the relentless, cruel, unforgiving night that clings to my soul, cease your endless torment. The throne room, a splendid, majestic, opulent space, was aglow with the soft, shimmering golden light filtering through stained glass windows. The walls adorned with vibrant, intricate tapestries, tell tales of ancient, legendary heroics. The air was heavy with the scent of blooming, fragrant flowers, strategically placed around the room. At the center of Princess Laila, a vision of eternal beauty, pale and delicate, sat upon her ornate, gilded throne. Her eyes, bright yet tired, flickered with restless energy. Dr. Miss Melissa, fear not, fair young noble princess. I am here armed with ancient, forbidden, powerful wisdom to vanquish your vile, pesky, stubborn ailment. Leia looked up, hope sparkling in her weary eyes. The court, a collection of curious, anxious, and eager faces, watches on, whispering among themselves. My wise, brave, esteemed Miss Melissa, can you truly snatch me from the jaws of this dreadful, dark, deep abyss? My dear, sweet, troubled woman, we shall explore every nook, every cranny of mystical magic, ancient lore. Together we shall find a cure, a remedy, a salvation. The room fell silent, the air thick with anticipation. Let it be known far and wide, from the highest, loftiest tower to the deepest, darkest dungeon. No stone shall remain unturned, no spell uncast, no potion untasted until our beloved, cherished, esteemed Princess Laila finds her much-deserved, long-awaited, blissful rest. The court erupted in a chorus of cheers, claps, and relieved sighs. Princess Laila managed a weak, grateful smile. So be it. From now on, you are hired as my personal doctor. Do not disappoint me. Okay, Laila's bedchamber is a serene, peaceful sanctuary filled with lush, blooming, vibrant plants and the soft, melodic, soothing sound of a distant waterfall. Sunlight streams through the windows, casting a gentle, calming, warm glow across the room. Alright, my dear, brave, resilient princess, let's delve into the mysterious, puzzling, enchanted depths of this curious, perplexing, stubborn affliction. Laila watched, fascinated yet apprehensive. Do your instruments reveal the secrets of the soul, Miss Melissa? Oh, they reveal much, much more, my dear. They whisper the tales of energy, spirits, and shadows, unseen yet ever-present, hidden yet profoundly influential. She began her examination, waving a crystal-tipped wand over Laila's body. The crystal glowed with a pulsating, hypnotic light, casting prismatic, dancing colors around the room. Intriguing, baffling, puzzling. The images are all askew, tangled like a knotted, stubborn, twisted vine. Miss Melissa placed her hands just above Laila, feeling the air, her brow furrowed in concentration. There is no ordinary, common, run-of-the-mill spell. This is ancient, powerful, deeply woven magic, crafted with skill, precision, and a touch of vengeance. Perhaps? Laila's eyes widened in alarm, her voice a whisper of silk and shadows. Vengeance? Who will harbor such dark, deep, bitter feelings against me? That, my dear, is what we must discover, but fear not, for I have faced many a dark, daunting, dangerous magic in my time, and have always emerged victorious, triumphant, unscathed. Miss Melissa's confidence seemed to comfort Laila, who managed a small, hopeful smile. The magical doctor packed away her instruments, her mind racing with theories, clues, and possibilities. Gather your strength, princess, for we have a challenging, arduous, thrilling journey ahead. The throne room was dimly lit by flickering, glowing, serene candles that cast long, dancing, mysterious shadows across the grand, opulent hall. The mood was tense, charged, uneasy. Court was gathered, with expressions filled with concern, curiosity, and a touch of fear. Princess Laila stood beside her throne, a figure of fragile, quiet, stoic grace. Miss Melissa stepped forward, her demeanor serious, earnest, determined. Noble lords, esteemed ladies, and dear loyal subjects, the nature of this spell is complex, cunning, and critically severe. To break it, I must observe the princess throughout the dark, silent, secretive night. Whispers rippled through the court like a swift, disturbing breeze. The queen, a regal, dignified, stately woman, stepped forward, her brow furrowed with maternal concern. Miss Melissa, are you certain this is necessary? I love Laila's virtue. Her reputation must remain pristine, unblemished, untarnished. Your Grace, I understand your fears, your concerns, your reservations, but I assure you this is the only way to see the true, hidden, elusive nature of this enchantment. My methods are respectful, discreet, and strictly professional. Let us step forward, voice soft yet filled with resolve, and address the court. My dear mother, and all gathered here, I trust Miss Melissa. We must do everything, spare no effort, overlook no possibility to lift this curse. I implore you, let us proceed with her plan. Silence fell heavy and contemplative. At that moment, the king, a wise, noble, commanding figure, rose from his throne. We shall trust in the expertise, the honor, the integrity of Miss Melissa. Let it be known that her actions are done with our full consent, our complete agreement, our unreserved blessing. The court, though still uneasy, nodded in agreement. Decision made. Miss Melissa bowed deeply, gratitude and determination etched on her face. Thank you, Your Majesty's noble court. I will not fail you. Tonight we may finally glimpse the truth of this vexing, elusive, dark spell. As the court dispersed, tension eased slightly, placed by a spark of hope. As darkness fell, Miss Melissa began her vigil of Princess Laila's side. It became a silent witness of the young maiden's torment. Princess Laila, with her delicate features and porcelain skin, lay upon her bed, a vision of loveliness, not loneliness, amidst the grandeur of her chambers. Her long amber hair cascaded down her back like a waterfall of sunlight, while her eyes, as blue as the clearest sky, gazed up at Melissa with a mixture of hope and trepidation. Throughout the long, restless night, Miss Melissa remained ever watchful, never stopping her watch over the prone form of the princess. At one point, Laila's body contorted and twisted with a fervor that was both heart-wrenching and perplexing. She even removed her garments, revealing a figure as pale and slender as the moonlight that bathed the room. Okay. Melissa observed that Laila. Okay. Miss Melissa watched on in mute disbelief, her eyes wide with astonishment as she beheld the raw, unbridled passion that consumed Princess Laila's body. Certain points the princess seemed unaware, but the room was heavy with desire as the princess withered and moaned. As a storm of passion raged within her, Princess Laila's body bucked and arched with an intensity that defied description, her very being consumed by the force of her pleasure. With a final, shuddering cry, she erupted in a burst of ecstasy. Her body drenched itself in a torrential flood of satisfaction as she rolled the crest of her orgasm to its thunderous conclusion. Okay. As the princess lay back to catch her breath, Miss Melissa observed her closely, consulting the huge moray in her lap. Okay. Eventually the sun rose, and although Miss Melissa was no closer to a cure, she vowed to try again the next night. Laila got up without a word and drowsily went about her day. The next night, room was bathed in the soft, soothing, silvery glow of moonlight, filtering through sheer, floating curtains. The atmosphere was calm, tranquil, yet filled with a palpable sense of anticipation. Princess Laila lay in her bed, her form still, her breathing even. If it was not for her eyes open and roaming around the room in wakefulness, she would be the epitome of serene, peaceful slumber. Miss Melissa sat beside her, a vigilant, watchful, focused guardian. She could saw the various mystical glowing artifacts and ancient whispering scrolls spread out around her. No change, no sign, no clue. The spell is crafty, elusive, profoundly secretive. Hours passed. Candlelight flickered, casting shifting, ghostly, dancing shadows across the room. Miss Melissa leaned closer, her eyes scanning the princess' peaceful face for any sign of disturbance. "No secret holds you captive, dear princess. What key unlocks the chains of your endless, tormenting wakefulness? Leila didn't reply, and Melissa waved a hand over her in a gentle, sweeping gesture, and a soft, luminescent, eternal glow emanated from her palm. Light hovered over Leila, yet revealed nothing new. Invisible, intangible, impervious to my touch or sight. No conclusion tonight, but I am not defeated. I shall seek out ancient, forgotten lore, for so with sages, scholars, and seers. There must be a solution, a remedy, an answer. Leila stirred slightly, lifting her head to regard Miss Melissa. Miss Melissa watched her for a moment longer, mixed admiration and worry in her eyes. Shut rest now, princess. We battle again on the morrow. After a week with no change to the princess' conditions, the king and queen decided to hold a feast in celebration of Miss Melissa's efforts in the hopes of inspiring her success. The hall was bustling, lively, and filled with the rich, savory aromas of a midday feast. Long tables were laden with sumptuous, delectable dishes, gleaming fruits, succulent meats, and freshly baked breads. The court was gathered, their voices a blend of laughter, chatter, and clinking silverware. At the head of the table, Princess Leila sat, still pale but posed, next to Miss Melissa, who was in high spirits, her eyes twinkling with mischief and pride. Noble friends, esteemed guests, and our beloved patient princess, let me regale you with the tales of my magical feats, my daring adventures in the realms of Arcane. The court turned to listen, some leaning forward, eager, amused smiles. Miss Melissa flourished her hand dramatically as she spoke. Why, once I wrestled the spell from the very clutches of a tempest, a storm so fierce, so wild, it could swallow ships whole, yet I tamed it with but a whisper. The crowd reacted with gasps and laughters, clear and tamed. Leila, however, stifled a yawn, expressing one of the fond, amused tolerance. Miss Melissa, do tell us, was the storm as relentless as your storytelling? Laughter rippled through the hall, even louder this time, the other woman not missing a beat, winked at Leila. Oh, my dear princess, if only your affliction could be charmed away by my tales, they'd cure you long ago. Cora chuckled, enjoying the light-hearted banter. And let's not forget this time, I coaxed a dragon to giving up a treasure it had guarded for centuries, simply by out-talking it. Really, Miss Melissa, your powers are as boundless as they are nosy. Perhaps tonight you could bore the curse into submission? Hall erupted in laughter once more, and Miss Melissa bowed dramatically, accepting the jest with good grace. Well played, princess, well played. And laughter proved the curse. Consider it my next grand spell. As the feast continued, the mood light and joyful, there was a sense of camaraderie and hope that perhaps through their combined effort, the curse might indeed be lifted, whether by magic, wit, or sheer perseverance. The night after the feast, the princess' room was aglow with a dimly lit by a single flickering candle that cast long shadows across the ornate walls. Pretty Lady laid in her bed, her expression one of irritation and discomfort as she shifted under the heavy silk blankets. Must you really sit there all night? Sexy been under the gaze of an owl. My dear, consider me a rather kindly owl, one that seeks only to aid you, not to peck or pry. Leila sighed heavily, turning to face the wall, her voice tinged with exasperation. Suppose if you must watch, you can at least do less intensely? Very well, I shall strive to be a discreet, almost invisible presence. Would you prefer real loud? Might make the night less oppressive. Leila paused, considering and nodded slightly, still facing away. Miss Melissa selected the book, and her voice turned warm and inviting. Here's something about the ancient guardians of Moonvale. Supposedly they were so serene even the moon lingered longer there to enjoy the view. And Miss Melissa read, her voice smooth and rhythmic. Leila's irritation began to ease. She found herself listening intently, drawn in despite herself. These gardens really exist? Or was this just a tale? In magic, my dear, all tales hold a seed of truth. Moonville might not exist on any map drawn by man, but in our minds, this is real as this room. Leila turned towards Miss Melissa, expression softened, intrigued. Tell me more about these magical places. You ever think I could ever see one? Well, I believe a princess with your spirit can only visit them, perhaps even create one. So you plant your garden then? What would you plant? The night progressed and the earlier tension dissolved into a conversation filled with whimsy and laughter. They talked over the days to come. Laila's initial annoyance faded, replaced by a genuine interest in her old, wise companion. They discussed magical plants, mythical landscapes, and slowly a bond began to form. In time, Laila and Liz began to spend time together while the sun was up as well. On one such day, the grand throne room was quiet, while only the soft crackling of the fireplace breaking the silence showed laden with books, cast long shadows in the flickering light. Miss Laila and Miss Melissa were seated on a comfortable couch, surrounded by piles of ancient texts and magical scrolls. Laila held a cup of tea, her hands wrapped around it for warmth, her expression somber. Melissa, I've never fully expressed how hard this curse has been on me. It's more than just sleepless nights. It feels like being trapped in a fog, constantly feeling lost within my own life. It's a heavy burden, Laila. Magic, especially dark magic, has a way of seeping into the cracks of our spirit. It's not just a physical ailment. It tangles with your thoughts, your emotions. Yes, and it's lonely. I'm surrounded by people, but this curse, it isolates me. There were nights I just wandered the castle gardens, trying to feel something other than exhaustion or despair. Miss Melissa reached out, placed a comforting hand on Laila's arm. You're incredibly strong, Laila. To endure so much, you still hold on to hope. It's not something everyone can do. Don't always feel strong. There are moments I doubt that I ever find relief or understand why it was happening to me. But having you here, sharing this burden, it's made all the difference. You've never been alone in this. Even at your loneliness, remember that. We're in this together. We will find a way to break this curse, no matter what it takes. Leah looked up, her eyes meeting Melissa's, finding reassurance in her steady gaze. I believe that now more than ever. Thank you, Melissa, for tonight and for all the nights you've been by my side. They shared a quiet moment with the warmth from the fireplace, and from their shared understanding filling the space between them. As long as it takes, Laila, we will see this through together. Okay. The bedchamber was bathed in the soft light of early morning. Princess Laila sat on her elegant writing desk, a blank piece of parchment before her and a quill in her hand. She was thoughtful and slightly troubled as she contemplated writing a letter to her betrothed, Prince Julian. Mother insists on diplomacy, on building bridges, even if they lead to places neither of us wishes to go. Lydia knew that she was expected to marry, especially now that she was well into her 20s, fast approaching 30 years old. Began to write, her hand steady, but her heart not entirely in the words. Dearest Prince Julian, I hope this letter finds you in good health and spirits. I have often reflected on our previous letters and communiques, particularly your insights into the responsibilities that bind us, not only to our land, but also to the expectations placed upon us. It is a path laid out by tradition and duty, and though it may not always align with our personal desires, it is one we walk with the hope of bringing prosperity and peace to our people. I admire your commitment to these ideals and hope that we might find common ground in our shared aspirations for our kingdoms. With respect and regards, Princess Laila. Laila sat down her quill, sighing as she sealed the letter with her family's crest. A few days later, a reply arrived from Prince Julian. His handwriting was meticulous, the words chosen with care, revealing a formality tinged with melancholy. Dear Princess Laila, thank you for your thoughtful words. Indeed, it is quiet in the quiet moments away from the court's hustle that I too reflect on the paths we're destined to walk. You're right to note the way of tradition and duty. It is a mantle we bear, perhaps too willingly at times. There are days when I yearn for a simpler existence, one where choices might be guided by the heart rather than the crown. Yet we must play the roles fate has dealt us, and I'm grateful to have found the kindred spirit in you. May we both find the strength to meet the expectations before us, even as we seek the courage to forge our own paths where we can. With all due respect, Prince Julian. Lydia read the letter slowly, her fingers tracing the words. Julian's voice seems to echo through the lines, a mixture of resignment and a faint, desperate hope for something different. He feels it too, the pull between duty and desire. Perhaps understanding is the first step towards change. She puts a letter in her drawer, thoughtful frown creasing her brow as she looks out the window, pondering their shared future. The royal garden was bathed in sunshine, the rays casting gentle light onto the winding paths. Princess Laila walked slowly behind a tranquil, reflecting pool, her expression troubled. Melissa approached her, concern evident on her face. You seem far away today. Were your letters for Prince Julian not to your liking? Princess Laila stopped and turned to face Miss Melissa, her voice filled with frustration. It was not as expected, polite, formal, and utterly suffocating. It speaks of marriage as though it's merely a contract between two states, not two souls. Miss Melissa listened intently, her face showing empathy as she nodded understandingly. Marriage, especially in royal circles, can often feel more like diplomacy than a union of hearts. It's a heavy burden to bear, especially for someone who values genuine connection as you do. I find myself dreading the idea more each day. How can I commit my life to someone who doesn't see me, who doesn't know me? Miss Melissa sat beside her, her presence comforting. It's a valid fear, Laila. Have you expressed these feelings to your parents? They too once faced the pressures of royal duty and personal desire. I've tried, but they see this alliance as necessary for the kingdom. Feelings are secondary to the greater good. Perhaps it's time to make your feelings known more forcefully. You deserve a life filled with real love, not one bound by cold obligations. Miss Laila leaned into Miss Melissa's embrace, grateful for the support. What if they don't listen? What if I'm forced to choose between my duty and my happiness? Then we shall find a way together. No one shall have to walk such a path alone. I will stand by you, Laila, whatever you decide. Thank you, Melissa. Knowing I have your support gives me strength. And it's time for a change. Perhaps even a new kind of leadership, one that values the heart as much as the crown. At night, the bedchamber was bathed in a soft, silvery glow of moonlight filtering through sheer curtains. Miss Laila sat by the window, her expression contemplative as she gazed out at the stars. The door creaked gently, and Miss Melissa entered as she did every night. A shawl draped over her shoulders. She paused, sensing the intimate quiet of the night. You seem more contemplative than usual, Laila. Is everything alright? Laila turned, her face reflecting the moon's gentle luminescence. Her smile was warm yet tinged with a quiet loneliness. The night sometimes seems so vast, so full of whispers and thoughts. Miss Melissa walked over, taking a seat beside Laila. There was a comfortable silence, the kind shared by those who have grown accustomed to each other's presence. Night can amplify our deepest feelings, can't it? It makes them feel closer, more urgent. Laila nodded, her gaze meeting Miss Melissa's. There was a palpable magnetic pull in the air, a shared connection that both comforted and disquieted them. So do you ever feel drawn to something or someone without fully understanding why? Miss Melissa's eyes reflected a depth of emotion. Her voice was soft and honest. Yes, I have. It's both unsettling and beautiful, like the pull of the moon on the tide. It's natural to feel drawn, Laila, especially to those who stir the soul. Their eyes locked, conveying more than words could express. The air around them seemed charged. This is closing as they leaned slightly towards each other, bridging the gap between understanding and desire. I feel that with you, especially on nights like this. Miss Melissa reached out, her head hesitantly touching Laila's. Her gesture was gently affirming. And I'm with you, Laila. It's rare and precious, this bond we share. They sat there, hand in hand, the world outside fading away. Connection deepened, not just through words, but through silent language of shared solitude and mutual understanding. Okay, that's all that is. The dorm room was bathed in the golden glow of the morning sun, filtering through stained glass windows. The room was quiet except for the soft rustle of pages as Princess Laila and Miss Melissa sat across from each other at a heavy oak table, surrounded by ancient tomes and scrolls. They had foregone the comforts of the bedchamber this night and had been discussing various magical theories and practices for hours. As the conversation dwindled for a moment, Laila hesitated, then gathered her courage to broach a more personal subject. Listen, we talked about so many aspects of magic in life. I wonder, could you teach me about more intimate things? Things of the heart and soul? Miss Melissa looked at Laila, understanding delicacy and depth to her request. She set aside her scroll, her expression serious but open. Of course, Laila, it's important to understand all aspects of life, including the more personal, intimate ones. What exactly would you like to learn about? About relationships, emotions, perhaps even love. How do we know what's right for us? How do we navigate these feelings responsibly? Miss Melissa nodded thoughtfully, then pulled a smaller, more delicately bound book from a nearby shelf. Love is like magic, is a powerful force. Must be approached with respect and understanding. It involves knowing oneself first and foremost, recognizing one's needs, desires, and boundaries. They'll listen intently, absorbing every word, expression of mix of curiosity and contemplation. When it comes to relationships with others, communication is key. Always speak your truth, listen actively, and give your heart wisely. Respect and consent are the foundations upon which all healthy relationships are built. If feelings change, how does one handle that gracefully? Change is a part of life, as natural as the seasons. Handling that gracefully means being honest, both with oneself and with others, accepting that sometimes paths diverge for the best. We'll absorb this, and the look of understanding dawned on her face. Thank you, Melissa. Talk about these things learning from you. It makes the path ahead seem less daunting. You're most welcome, Laila. Remember, you are never alone in this journey. I'm here, as are others who care about you deeply. That night, when the castle was asleep, Princess Laila sat before Melissa. Her eyes flickered with curiosity as they locked gazes. Laila's voice was soft but commanding. Teach me. Oh. She swallowed hard at the thought of it. The idea of pressing her lips against another's was both thrilling and terrifying all at once. To their surprise, Miss Melissa remained calm at the request. She got from her chair, approached the bed where Laila lay. Melissa smiled kindly as she leaned in, cupping Laila's face gently between her hands. Like this. Miss Melissa pressed her lips together, a soft, gentle motion that quickly deepened into something more. Laila felt herself relaxing under the older woman's touch. It was like being wrapped up in a warm embrace that made her feel safe and loved. Okay. Melissa showed Laila how to move her tongue, exploring the other woman's mouth with eager curiosity. Sensation was foreign for Laila, yet oddly pleasurable, feeling that sent shivers down her spine. They parted after a moment, both women breathless with passion and desire. The stillness of the night enveloped Princess Laila and Miss Melissa, their hands intertwined. Each heartbeat seemed to amplify in the quiet room, the moon casting a soft, soothing light over them. Melissa, I've never felt this close to anyone. It's as if you reached into the very depths of my being, and soothed parts of me I didn't know were restless. Miss Melissa's expression softened further, her eyes conveying both warmth and a slight apprehension. Yeah, this connection is something I cherish deeply, but we must tread carefully. It's a delicate thing, the path we are on. She paused, searching for the right words, her concern evident. I know the risks, Melissa, but denying what I feel, that will be a far greater sorrow. Where a path this may lead us down, I want to explore it with you. Miss Melissa took a deep breath, made her decision visible in her eyes. She squeezed Laila's hand, affirming her own feelings. And we shall explore it together, cautiously with open hearts. I am here, Laila, with you for as long as you wish me to be. Alma lingered, a shared silence that spoke volumes. Eventually, Laila leaned her head against Miss Melissa's shoulder, a gesture of trust and closeness. Miss Melissa wrapped her shawl around both of them, a protective and affectionate act. Thank you, Melissa, for being my confidant, my friend, and perhaps something more. And thank you, Layla, for your beautiful heart. They continued to be unable to sleep for what seemed like endless nights. The days turned into weeks, the two women found solace in each other's company. Castle was a lonely place when everyone else slumbered. The only sounds that filled the air were their soft whispers, laughter, and the creak of the old wooden floorboards. It was long before they started to see each other as more than just patient and healer, more than just friends. One such night, with the first light of dawn still hours away, they found themselves in Princess Layla's chamber. The glow of a single candle cast shadows on their faces. They leaned close together. Okay. Dr. Melissa's, her eyes fixated on Layla's pale skin, delicate features, gently traced the curve of her neck with a single finger. Okay. Melissa remembered her voice barely audible with the crackling of the fire in the hearth. I guess you're doing this. Layla's breath caught in her throat as she looked into Melissa's deep, dark eyes. Her heart pounded against her chest, and the warmth spread from where their hands touched, radiating outwards until it enveloped her entire body. And then, without a word, they were kissing, exposing the passion, as they say. Maybe this is the way to fix the curse. At least the king and queen don't, or are gonna walk in, so that would be insane. Yeah, those friends, their fingers traced. Well, now they're one of their friends, but I think, I don't know. I don't know how that will work unless she marries the prince, and then they kind of keep this on the hush hush. You're older than my mother. Oh my god. I didn't know she was that much older. It's just a number level. Okay, I won't say all that, but it's more than just a number. Leila felt her cheeks flush as she considered Melissa's words. Melissa, these nights with you, they've changed me. It feels as if I'm discovering parts of myself I never knew existed. And I, who thought my days of discovery were long behind me, found myself equally transformed. This connection Layla is unlike anything they ever experienced. Closeness diminished the space between them, both physically and emotionally. Layla leaned in, her head resting against Melissa's shoulder. Sigh contemplation escaping her lips. I think the peace I saw from the curse would come not from spells or potions, but from the quiet comfort of your company. Miss Melissa wrapped an arm around Layla, pulling her close. She spoke softly, each word laden with emotion. It's a different kind of magic, Layla. When the no spell we conjure. It's real and powerful, and it frightened me a bit, truth be told. Don't be afraid. Encouraged by Layla's words, Melissa nodded, took to Layla's chin, and gently placed a tender, affirming kiss on her lips. Together then, for as long as the stars allow. Okay. They lay in each other's arms all night. In the morning, a glance from the princess told the doctor she wasn't about to leave the bedchamber anytime soon. Melissa gently guided Layla towards the edge of the bed, where she lay down on her back. With a wicked grin, she parted Layla's folds with her tender fingers, exposing her. Oh. The king and the queen will walk in. Okay. They're gonna walk in and it's gonna be insane. She's being loud. Oh boy. Okay. Seeing Lila's curiosity, Melissa took it upon herself to teach her princess. Well, now it's her princess. Okay. Oh, that's what we're doing. All right. I'm gonna hide my yeah. Alright, that happened. I was like, are they gonna come see her mother and father before it gets weird? Okay, room was scattered with various arcane tools and ingredients, crystals glowing faintly, herbs emitting puffs of scented smoke, and the ancient scrolls laid out meticulously. Personally, the Miss Melissa stood in the center, surrounded by a carefully drawn circle of salt and crushed petals. This time, Leila, I have a good feeling. Lining the stars, phase of the moon, everything is just as the old text recommended. Leila looked both hopeful and slightly amused. She glanced at the elaborate setup. Curious, said Melissa, I can't help but wonder if the spell would end up turning me into a frog instead of breaking the curse. Fear not, my dear. The worst we managed the incident with the singing flowers last week. Now focus. Melissa started the incantation, her voice echoing slightly in the vast room. Leila closed her eyes, trying to concentrate, amid the flickering candlelight and the odd, slightly musical hum of vibrating crystals. Now, with the power bestowed by the ancients, release this curse. She dramatically dropped the final shimmering powder into a bowl, which immediately emits a loud, unexpected pop, followed by a burst of colorful smoke. When clearly Leila was standing coughing slightly, covering head to toe in vibrant, glittering dust. At least it's not frogs this time, but if we're trying to make me sparkle to necro ball, I say the spell was a smashing success. Alright, that was not a tender result, but you do look quite radiant, my dear. No burst into laughter, the stress and disappointment eased by the ridiculousness of the situation. Next time I cut back on stardust, the spell requires a bit more subtle touch. Perhaps magic spirits will just enjoy seeing us covered in more glitter. You begin to clean up the mess, your laughter echoing through the chamber, a moment of lighthearted camaraderie in their ongoing battle against the stubborn curse. After they finished, Miss Melissa turned to Leila. Should we try another one? Together they began to chant the ancient words, voices low and hypnotic as they called forth the powers beyond. Something was amiss. The air around them didn't shimmer or dance with energy like it should have done during the actual incantation. You should try again. Melissa nodded in agreement, her eyes filled with determination, but just as they began to chant once more, their bodies touched the familiar fire ablaze within them. Hello. Y'all supposed to be doing the whole spell thing. Okay. As the night approached, life faded from their entwined bodies, knew where it took. Wait, did they just out in the okay. Well, what happened? It's with her she spoke, always heavy with concern. People find out that you're not chastity? Just shrugged, her expression calm despite the turmoil of emotions that swirl within. I don't know. The night was especially dark in the castle. As Leia sat alone, her jet bedchamber lost in thought. A knock and the click of a handle, door open. It's Melissa. Face full of warmth and concern as she stepped inside, closing the door behind her. Yes, she flushed red when Melissa immediately approached her bed. With a tender vulnerability and a bit of shyness after their last conversation, nevertheless, Laila nodded slowly as if to give her permission to trust Melissa and her gentle nature. Melissa touched her with feather-like fingers, tracing the curve of her hip before moving down. Okay. Again, they're not even trying to get this whole curse. Yeah, they're really not. Okay. Sun began to rise over the castle walls. Princess Leia made her way down to the kitchen where Melissa was busy preparing with her potions. Alright, I'm gonna finish this. Alright. Okay, sun began to rise over the castle walls. Princess Leia made her way down to the kitchen where Melissa was busy preparing another one of her potions. Here smelled the herbs and spices. The other one bustled about, measuring out ingredients with extra precision. Leia watched as Melissa worked, fascinated by the way she moved, a picture of grace and efficiency, not so unlike Layla's own mother. "You need any help?" Leila offered up, feeling slightly self-conscious but eager to assist in some small way. Melissa looked up from what she was doing, a kind smile on her face as she regarded the princess. "Hey Leila, but no, it's something I have to do alone." She gestured towards the bubbling cauldron in front of her, the steam waving upwards like tendrils of magic. Leila nodded understanding and left the doctor to her work for the day. They passed uneventfully, and after a few failed spells in the evening, darkness settled on the castle once again. Eager to enter the nighttime sanctuary, Melissa and Leila retired to their princess bed chambers. Melissa guided Princess Leila towards the bed where they both lay down. Wow, okay. That was insane. I was ready for that. Melissa left the chambers to wash herself versus laying in bed. The door to her chamber swung open. Lydia felt a sudden sense of trepidation. There's no way Melissa could be back already. Lydia sat up surprised, staring at the figure that had entered. Her mother. Some of her features seemed off. Why is her mother in there? She wanted to say goodnight. Queen Beatrice spoke softly to her daughter as she leaned over the bed. Make sure everything is alright. She paused before continuing. I know it's been a difficult time for you, but please know that I am always here for you. Leah stared at her mother, then felt her cheeks flush with embarrassment as she realized the direction her thoughts had taken. For a moment, she had almost confused her mother with Melissa. Did her mother know? Sorry. Leah whispered, feeling sheepish at her own mistake. Curse, I didn't mean to. She trailed off, unsure how to finish the thought. Trying to understand? There's a sadness in the queen's eyes. Remember that no matter what happens, you are loved and cherished by those around you. And with that, Layla's mother left her chamber, closing the door behind her. Okay. The room was warmly lit by a crackling fire and several oil lamps that cast a soft golden glow against the walls. Thick, plush carpet muffled their footsteps, especially Layla paced nervously, her hands wringing together. Miss Melissa sat in a large, comfortable chair, a book with ancient spells on her lap, watching Layla with a concerned expression. For some worry, I think my mother suspects that our nightly meetings are more for companionship than they are for breaking the spell. She thinks we're not taking it seriously. I understand your concern. Layla, the queen has always been perceptive. We must be more circumspect. I wouldn't do for your trust in me to lead to my imprisonment. I couldn't bear it if you were punished because of me. Perhaps it's time we try some different approaches to lifting this curse. More traditional methods that would reassure her. Very well, let's double our efforts. I'll delve into the older magics. Perhaps there's an obscure spell or potion we overlooked. Anything that might show quick, tangible results to ease her suspicions. Lila nodded, visibly relieved at the plan, but still tense. Yes, to that, and maybe keep our discussions more focused on the task at hand when others might be listening. I shall be the very picture of a dedicated, dour, old sorceress, pouring over her dusty tomes. Lily managed a small smile, her affection for Miss Melissa mixing with her anxiety. And I'll be the dutiful princess, studious and solemn. No one will doubt our dedication. And share a quiet laugh and the tension eased slightly. By the way, Layla, not just to convince your mother, but to truly free you from this curse. Together we can do this. Layla looked at Miss Melissa with an expression of renewed determination and trust. Let's get to work. It's a great effort, but Layla and Melissa managed to get through the day without a single intimate glance or touch. However, when night fell and they retired to Layla's bedchamber, Layla touched Melissa's shoulder, looked her straight in the eyes. Okay. All right. The next day, the chamber was cluttered with an assortment of mystical paraphernalia, glowing crystals, bubbling potions, and ancient letter-bound tomes. Princess Leila, both hopeful and skeptical, stood beside Miss Melissa, who was setting up a complex arrangement of candles and herbs in a precise pattern on the floor. The air was thick with the scent of lavender and sage. This spell is a bit unorthodox, but used by the ancient mages of Yorvale to calm stormy seas. I've adapted it slightly. Storms of the mind are not so different from those of the sea, after all. Leila raised her eyebrow at Melissa. This doesn't work. Maybe you could try knitting me a blanket for moonbeams or something. I create a suggestion. Add it to the list. Now stand here, and whatever happens, try to stay within the circle. Leila stepped into the center of the candlelit pattern, watching as Miss Melissa began chanting in that old melodious language. The candles flickered, and the air seemed to thicken, but then nothing. No change. Miss Melissa ceased her chanting and furrowed her brow. Well, how do you feel? I studied, I'm afraid. Melissa's spell was meant to make me hungry. Perhaps I did not need more moonbeam. Matter, we have more to try. What about a potion? A recipe that involves starlight captured during a lunar eclipse is supposed to be effective, well, quite effective for the matters of the mind. Starlight and moonbeams? You really are determined to turn me into a celestial being, aren't you? It's all part of my grand plan. Come, let's concoct this potion. It will take a few days. If nothing else, it should taste better than most. Before I do, however, I need your input. There are two directions that I believe we can follow for this special potion. Let's focus on heart desire. Everyone was quiet, save for the soft, rhythmic ticking of an ordinate clock and the gentle crackle of fire in the hearth. Princess Leila and Miss Melissa sat beside the fire, wrapped in their warm plush blankets. A small table between them held 2 steaming cups of tea. They had grown so close over countless days and nights that their conversations were easy and familiar. If we tried every spell in the book, console the stars, the stones, even the whispers of the wind, the mere fear might lead me straight to the dungeon. Miss Melissa, you have done more than anyone. You've given me hope and companionship in my darkest hour. No one could ask for more. But what is a magician if her magic finds no mark? I promised to lift this curse, and yet it clings to you, stubborn as stone. Leila reached out, placing a gentle hand on Melissa's cheek. Yet through this, you've told me more about resilience, about finding light in the darkest places. Perhaps that's a more profound magic, one that no dungeon could contain. Miss Melissa looked at Leila, mixed admiration and gratitude in her eyes. If I am to be thrown into a dungeon, sure is one with a view, at least of the stars. She shared a soft laugh, tension easing slightly. Suddenly the fire flickered strangely, casting an odd shadow. Miss Melissa's gaze sharpened. You see that? Even the flames speaking riddles around you. Perhaps we've been looking for answers in the wrong places. Maybe the magic we need is quieter, more subtle kind. Yet perhaps it's not about breaking the spell with force, but understanding its nature, its origin. Let's start from the beginning once more. They turned back to the books and scrolls. The room was bathed in the soft general light of the morning. Princess Leila and Miss Melissa were seated near the window, the air between them heavy with the scent of spring flowers in the garden below. Miss Melissa held a small, ancient, jeweled lock in her hands, examining it closely, her brow furrowed in thought. In all our searching, all our questioning of spells and magic, we overlook the simplest truth. Sometimes the greatest bindings are those we place on ourselves. Princess Leila shifted uncomfortably, her gaze avoiding Miss Melissa's. Her hand nervously twisted the fabric of her gown. What do you mean, Miss Melissa? This locket. It's more than just a heirloom, isn't it? It's a symbol. Perhaps of a burden, a duty, or a secret you've been guarding. Leila bit her lip, her eyes welling up with tears. She took a deep breath, finding her courage. It is a locket to commemorate my betrothal. I've never wished to marry the prince. It has always felt wrong, like a path laid out by others, not chosen by me. Go on, my dear. Truth often frees more than just a speaker. I always dreamed of a different life, one where I could choose my heart's true match. In my heart, here is not for a prince, for a princess. Miss Melissa's eyes softened, seeing the depth of Laila's confession. And so the spell may not be a curse from without but a manifestation of your own fears, your own desires trying to be acknowledged. Tears began to stream down Laila's face. Yes, I've been so afraid of disappointing everyone of the chaos it could disappointing everyone of the chaos it could cause. Behind this truth has been like living half a life. Miss Melissa reached out, taking Laila's hands in hers. No magic gun wield is stronger than the truth in your heart. Yet it's time we confront this, not with spells, but with the courage of your convictions. Let's think about how to reveal this truth, to find a path that honors your desires and your duties. Laila nodded, a weight lifted from her shoulders. The study was cozy, inviting a room filled with books, scrolls, and ancient artifacts. Sunlight filtered through the stained glass, casting vibrant patterns on the floor. Mrs. Laila sat at an ornate desk, her expression a mixture of resolve and nervousness. Miss Melissa, wise in matrimony, stood near a towering bookshelf, thumbing through a tome filled with lores and legends. Laila, revealing one's heart as much like casting a powerful spell. Timing, ingredients, and the dash of courage are key. How do we find the right moment? The court is always so busy, so bustling. How might they recreate the moment? Why not during the Harvest Festival Ball? Harvest Festival Ball, that could work. It's less warmer than the usual event, there when spirits are high. Exactly. We script a scene where a princess chooses her own path. Can't imagine a better guardian, Melissa. I'll speak my truth. Laila, whatever happens, know this. You are not alone. You're braver than you believe, and this old healer will always stand by you. Laila rose to embrace Miss Melissa, her heart lighter than it had been in ages. Thank you, Miss Melissa, for everything. They parted, and Laila looked out the window, her gaze determined yet dreamy. Miss Melissa watched her fondly, proud of the princess's courage. Now let's find a spell for nerve calming, shall we? Something that says boldness with a hint of "can't back out now." Laila laughed, her laughter mingling with the light streaming through the window, filling the room with warmth. Melissa and Laila's eyes met once again, but Laila turned away. She gazed up the royal gardens below. Laila knew she had to make another decision. Focus on Melissa. Ballroom was adorned in splendor, draped in cascades of silk and illuminated by hundreds of twinkling candles that cast a warm golden glow. Nobles from far and wide filled the room, their garments a swirl of colors as they danced to a majestic orchestral melody. Hopefully I said that right. At the front, Princess Laila stood I've never seen that word before, resplendent, in a gown that sparkles with the light of the stars themselves, her presence commanding the attention of all. Dear friends, tonight I stand before you not just as your princess, but as the one who seeks to live truthfully. For too long, a spell has clouded my nights and days, a spell not born of dark magic, but of a heart in concealment. Music softened, and the crowd grew in closer, hanging on her every word. This spell bound me because I feared to acknowledge my true feelings, but I stand here now to tell you that I seek a life joined not to a prince, but to one whose spirit and kindness have captured my heart. And with held its breath, some anticipating, others wondering. Miss Melissa, in our time together, you have shown me not just the depths of magic, but the greater power of understanding and affection. It is you, dear heart, who I have come to love. Miss Melissa was taken aback, and her eyes widened with surprise and emotion. The other woman stepped forward to the young woman, trembling with emotion before her. The crowd gasped softly, a mixture of murmurs filling the air as the revelation settles. Laila, my brave, beautiful princess, to think that I, too, am guiding your heart to freedom, have my own caught up in yours. They're about to lose their mind, if they haven't already. As they gazed into each other's eyes, the shimmering veil of the cursed visibility lifts from around Laila, dissolving into the air like morning mist under the sun's first rays. The room burst into applause, not just for the lifting of the curse, but for the courage of true love revealed. Okay, that's good. What is a kingdom without love? Let it be known that here we own the truth. in all its forms. Go King / Dad, because I was worried about him mostly. The queen nodded unknowingly, her smile beaming as she joined the applause. The love and the truth are kingdom's greatest strengths. Layla and Miss Melissa, and their hands still clasped, stepped onto the dance floor. Orchestra resumed, playing a beautiful, slow melody fit for the tale of unexpected love. They danced, surrounded by the warmth of their people, the love a gentle but undeniable declaration. Curse lifted, Lydia slept soundly every night. Okay. The end. Alright. Well, that's it. What's the name of this? Again, Princess Laila Doesn't Sleep. So that's the whole thing. I believe there are multiple endings. I'm not sure. I don't quite remember. If y'all are curious about this game, y'all want to try it for yourselves and pick the other dialogue options, of course, everything that I can put for this game will be in the description below for y'all to check it out. I did enjoy this. I didn't expect the ending, but I kind of was like leaning towards like, I think eventually she's not gonna go for the prince, she's gonna go for Miss Melissa, and that's what happened. So yeah, I did enjoy this game. I do recommend it. Like I said, everything will be in the description below if y'all check this out. But with that being said, I'm gonna end it here. So hope y'all had a good day. Think yesterday better tomorrow, and I will catch y'all in the next video.